Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to the fourth and final round of locals feature matches for the week. Hope you guys have had a good week so far, and hope you guys enjoy your weekend as well. And in this particular matchup, we've got Phantom Knight on the left versus Danger OTK on the right. Let's take a look at the poll results as they get ready to start here. Ask you guys who you thought would win, and just over 400 votes as I am doing the commentary here, and it looks like Phantom Knight in the lead by quite a bit, 70% to 30%. Not a shocking result. I feel like most people would say this matchup is pretty favored, but this Danger OTK deck is pretty interesting. I remember at this locals played against the deck in round 3 it was, and I kind of knew going into it was an OTK deck, and I think in game 3 didn't opt to side in any back row removal whatsoever until a There Can Be Only One was flipped on me, and that pretty much signaled the end of the game. I got absolutely destroyed. It is what it is. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes, though. But I could see Fogblade being a big problem against a deck that likes to try to OTK, whether they're Fogblading the monster that's attacking, or you're Fogblading your own monsters. You are essentially denying them the same thing, the OTK. It also does take advantage of the Astral Karibo card, which is a card I really do like. It's a card that everything ever since it got announced was something I thought could be played in a deck like Photon Galaxy, which, you know, when I do decide to play that deck again at some point, whenever that is, that's probably a card I will look at into experimenting with. But cool to see it in a deck oriented around the Danger archetype. So we're going to see typical Phantom Knight plays here, right? Cherubini resolving, you know, dumping the graph. Well, I think Tour Guide resolved first, actually. Was actually able to get a step farther by not having to use Cherubini to dump the graph. Yeah, getting a lot farther ahead here. So you can go ahead and link into the Rusty, and Seer is going to revive the Cherubini. Has Ash and Fogblade in hand too. Not bad. Cards that have at this point. We're going to see him go for Leviair effect to go ahead and summon back the Cloak. And we'll see what the play from here is going to be. Looks like we're going to see him activate Rusty later on in the combo here. Setting Fogblade and dumping the gloves, and right now has Cloak and Gloves engraved, opting to maybe not send gloves here, looking to send something else, sending Torn Scales instead, which I think will end up making a little bit more sense here. So we'll get the extra extender. Yep, we'll be able to spec out that Torn Scales now after searching wings off of the boots. And now probably see him go for Break Sword here to get that, potential interruption into the grave for a Fogblade target paired with the Rusty. We'll see him link into Anaconda. And then we're going to see him link into IP Masquerena, going for the pretty standard non-adventurer, scythe version of Phantom Knight. We'll see him pay 2,000 to go ahead and dump the fusion spell and the bricks to go ahead and summon out the Enforcer. And 3 set with the IP Masquerena, with the DPE, with the Celestial follow-up. And we'll see if the Danger deck has what it takes to be able to go through this board. And yeah, it's a pretty interesting deck. Definitely takes advantage of the Drag Lubion play, which is really cool. And I believe she's been on the deck for quite some time. And it's been very cool to see how she's evolved it over the past, few months at locals. And I believe this is her first time on the feature match too, which is really cool. So we'll see if she's able to crack the board here. And there's that Astral Karibo, which actually does make Drag Lubion a pretty big problem, because Drag Lubion normally can't be targeted, I believe, under its just own effect. And then the Astral Karibo also giving it additional protection as well. You can go and pull up Drag Lubion here. Yeah, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. And then you can attach 1 material from this card, take 2 dragon number monsters with different names from your extra deck and or graveyard, except itself, special summon 1 of them and attach the other 2 as material. So we're going to see Thunderbird activate in hand. There's that Danger engine. It will get sniped out of the hand, That'll trigger its graveyard effect to go ahead and pop a spell or trap. It will force out a Wings. But luckily, Wings, for our Phantom Knight player anyways, is chainable. And he will chain it, targeting the Rusty. So now it will gain 500 attack. And I believe if it were to be destroyed, the first time it will not get destroyed. So acting as a protection. Now we're going to see Ogopogo activate in hand here. A lot of the higher level dangers being played in this particular build, obviously for the rank 8/rank 7 spam. To help go for the OTK. And Nessie will get discarded here, so she'll get the draw 1 plus the search from Nessie for the copy of Jackalope. So not only building the board in the process, but also getting pluses as well. Taking another look at the Draglubion here. Probably realizing that it will get summoned here momentarily. And not only will it not be able to be targeted, but it cannot also be destroyed by battle. I'm going to also pull up the Astral Karibo text as well, because this card I've read probably maybe twice, I think. Yeah, you can reveal one numbered Xyz monster in your extra deck as cost, special on this card from your hand. If you do, this card's level becomes the revealed monster's rank. Also, while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Xyz, except number Xyz monsters. Yeah. And then a number Xyz monster that was summoned using this card in the field as material gains this effect. It cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's cards. So now we're going to see Danger Response Team here. And using both effects, because the effects are not once per turn, being able to bounce back the Rusty and then use its graveyard effect immediately. Specking out the Thunderbird, and now we're going to see Dogman activate. Just the whole Danger Squad is here. You love to see it. See him roll, hits the one in the middle, does not hit the Moth or the Dogman, so she'll summon that out, get the draw, and then get the effect of Jackalope. Go ahead and spec one out from the deck, and we'll see which is the desired danger monster here. Looks like it is going to be another Ogopogo. It'll help for more rank 8 plays. Yeah, so view this card's level becomes the revealed monster's rank. Also, while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. Yeah, okay, so monsters from the extra deck. So for a second, I thought Astral Karibo locked you and did not summon anything else except number Xyz, but it's only extra deck monsters, so be able to go ahead and overlay here regardless into the Draglubion. Looks like the DPE was used on the Astral Karibo, understanding that it is probably a big threat. And looks like on the summon of Draglubion, we are going to see our PK player link into Appaloosa. Only for 2 materials here, so it is at 1600. Rather easy target to beat over. We're going to see another Ogopogo activation in the hand here. And we'll see what the roll is. It's going to go ahead and hit the Ogopogo. And Ogopogo's graveyard effect will activate to go ahead and believe Foolish Burial, another danger. So we're going to go ahead and send a Bigfoot. And I see another Dogman in hand as well. So it looks like Dogman will just get discarded. And that's actually going to drop Appaloosa by 1,000. Which would put it down to 600. So that's would completely erase any negates that it had. So it looks like that will actually force an Appaloosa negate to begin with. So only 1 negate left here. And what we can assume is 2 Fog Blades. I think public knowledge would only allow for us knowing 1. But obviously, you know, we have the bird's eye view. So we know there are 2 in the back row here. Yeah, so Fog Blade will actually be played on the Appaloosa, preventing a ton of damage here. And Draglubion still has an opportunity, though, to go ahead and activate in main phase 2, though, since the Fog Blade was burned on the Appaloosa. And now, basically, you know, from what we can understand, it's free to activate here in main phase 2. Well, not even can assume. We just know it is going to activate because Fog Blade targets, of course, and Draglubion completely immune to targeting here. And we're going to go ahead and see Big Eye gets summoned here, which I'm not necessarily sure if that is something that can be done. I believe take 2 different dragon number monsters with different names for your extra deck. And we Big Eye as a spellcaster, so I believe that is a bit of a misplay. It happens. So Fogblade, regardless, going to be burned on what is getting summoned either way. Don't really think it's going to make too big of a difference here. It is what it is. Mistakes are things that people make, and it happens. So we're going to go ahead and see. In the end phase, Wings bring out the Break Sword. That will trigger the Torn Scales to go ahead and summon itself. Standby phase rolls around, and Forcer will come back, of course. Now seeing the Torn Scales activate, pitching Ash Blossom. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought something looked a little off about Big Eye getting spec'd out off of that Draglubion, but it is what it is. Now we're going to go ahead and see the Cloak get banished, and that's going to go ahead and search the Silent Boots. And then we're going to see the normal summon of Tour Guide, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that this is probably just going to be game right here to begin with. And we're going to see him go for a Link 3, probably going to be Nightmare, or not Nightmare Unicorn, going to go for Rusty again. That's right, because Rusty was put back off of the Danger Response team, I believe. Now we're going to go ahead and see him overlay for the Break Sword. That'll trigger Rusty to go ahead and pop the Big Eye. And now we're going to see the Break Sword activate, clearing itself, and the Thunderbird Break Sword Graveyard effect to provide the materials here. And I'm just going to go through all of the spot removal that this deck has, and it has quite a bit of spot removal. You've got your Break Sword, you've got your Rusty, you've got your DPE, you've got your Unicorn, your Access Code Talker. So much in the form of spot removal here, and we're just going to see that all probably get fired off now. The only thing that's going to be difficult to deal with is the Draglubion, of course, because it cannot be targeted, and that is going to be something to deal with in an alternate factor. Probably going to have to be with Access Code. That's the only thing I think the deck can summon that'll be able to get over a 3k untargetable body. We'll see him link for the Dark Charmer Gloomy, and we're also going to see Fogblade bring back a Torn Scale using the Shade Brigadine to go ahead and go into Unicorn. No Unicorn effect. And then we're going to see him link the Unicorn and the Appaloosa into the Access Code. I believe that Fogblade should go to the grave as well, since it was, I think, on the Appaloosa, but I don't think it makes too big of a difference here, especially at this point in the game. We're going to start seeing Access Code fire off. And Access Code does not target, so I guess that's also an out, not only in the fact that it goes up to 5,300, but it also just doesn't target, so being able to deal with the Draglubion there, no problem. We're into a Game 2 situation. Both players undefeated, and we'll see who can take Game 2. We're going to see Phantom Knight take the lead, obviously, as the going second deck will want to go second. That is the one thing, and I'm obviously playing a going second deck right now. I'm playing Sword Soul going second. If you guys haven't seen my deck profile for that, check it out. It is on the channel. I uploaded it, I believe, this past Sunday. And that's the one bittersweet thing is, like, yeah, going second, you know, being able to take advantage of all the board-breaking cards. Obviously, the Danger Engine inherently kind of has that built within it. You know, you've got things like Thunderbird and Bigfoot being able to act as spot removal, and also just extenders in the form of free bodies, plus basically just all acting as upstart goblins. But, you know, it does have the unfortunate side effect of letting decks like this get to do what they want to do, essentially, for the free. And we're going to see a pretty identical open here. Looks like Cloak into Kagamucha, into, you know, the classic Cherubini Rusty shenanigans. Torn Scales into Boots, and we'll see what flavor of combo he decides to pull off here. Let me know if you guys, like, want to see more Phantom Knight. I feel like I've had a lot of Phantom Knight on this week, but this was recorded at a locals where it was a day of the week where we didn't have as many players, so the pool for recording was more so limited, especially towards the later rounds. That's why there was a few repeat players this week. But I always do try to keep it mixed up. I know the previous week I think we had 8 different decks in the rotation. I think this week there's only 4. But hope you guys are, again, enjoying the the matches nonetheless. Getting to commentate over stuff like this is always fun for me, especially when we have interesting decks like the Danger OTK deck here. And then we're going to see the Anaconda, dump the bricks, pay 2k, get the Enforcer, and yeah, ending on a pretty much identical board game 1, or as game 1. And, see him summon the Enforcer. Yep, so he's got the 3 set with IP and DPE. So, literally the exact same board. I want to say carbon copy almost, if you will, as we saw in game 1. And we're going to see Danger take another crack at it here. Leading with the Thunderbird, sniping the Thunderbird. And Thunderbird will activate. And it's the same old song and dance. Chain Wings on to the Rusty, giving that 500 attack boost, all making sure that it cannot be destroyed once. Next time it would be destroyed, right? It is not. Then we're going to see another Danger activation here. It's the Dogman getting sniped. And they're going to go for another Dogman. So everything is down by 1,000 here. And, okay, so the Dogman will not get sniped a second time in a row. It'll hit a Such, so it'll get the draw. Plus, Tsuchinoko will bring itself back. And another Thunderbird here. Trying to probably get to a rank 8. And the Thunderbird gets sniped again. Unfortunate. Now going for Nessie, just going through all the Danger names here. Don't know if it will be enough, but I love seeing multiple Dangers resolve. Yeah, so resolving Nessie, drawing 1, resolving Mothman, both players drawing 1 and discarding 1. Also, fun fact, my friend John on the left here actually has an obsession with Danger Mothman, and it's an unhealthy one, I'll tell you. He has at least 30 plus copies of Danger Mothman, so yeah, every time anybody has a copy of it in their trade binder, they are not safe. He just wants to consume all copies of Mothman. So, fun bit of lore there. So, going on and resolve the Ogopogo now as well, or summoning the Ogopogo off of the Jackalope. And Mothman, or Dogman rather, and Nessie both being level 7s here, so a rank 7 play is on the table. I feel like this is also a deck that the Anaconda engine could work pretty well in, because, you know, if you're not making Xyz, like if you have mismatching levels like in this case here, you know, with the Snake and the Ogopogo, obviously those could be tossed into an Anaconda, perhaps something like Dragoon. I feel like a deck like this could opt to use over something like DP, over just sheer power, and then, you know, have something like consistency, because I mean the deck is filled with upstart goblins. Talk about consistency, you know, you look at Dangers for just the names that they are, whether it be, you know, the good Dangers or the bad Dangers like Dogman or Ogopogo versus things like Nessie, but I mean at the end of the day they also all kind of serve the same purpose, acting as literal upstart goblins. And if they're not upstart goblins, they have other, you know, kind of nice effects that be rather helpful in going second. Or even, you know, breaking boards, in the fact of like Bigfoot and Thunderbird. So it looks like we will see DPE activating the Anaconda getting destroyed. But now we're going to see Big Eye here. And Big Eye could be somewhat of a threat. Permanently stealing the DPE could be rather problematic. It looks like the DPE will say otherwise. Popping the Fog Blade that was flipped face up, and popping the Big Eye. Looks like end phase, we're going to see the Fog Blade bring out the Break Sword. That'll trigger Rusty to pop. Torn Scale effect, end phase, DPE will die because of Fusion Destiny. And then looks like draw phase, we're going to see Dasher, Spec, Cloak. At least I'm thinking that's what happened here, or he's just not using DPE. Looks like Cloak will go ahead and activate its effect to go ahead and boost Rusty. Or maybe just use DPE on the start of his turn. I might have missed that. As I say, otherwise the DPE might have been forgotten about in the standby phase. And then we're going to see the Cloak here activate. Go ahead and search the boots, spec boots. And at this point, it's just a matter of putting 8k damage on board. Okay, so yeah, there's the DPE. And now we're going to see him go into a break sword. And yeah, I mean, with Appaloosa with 3 mats, I mean, at this point, it's very, very easily going to be game. Break sword popping itself and the suits, bringing back the 2 materials. It's just a matter of turning those into something that can deal enough damage for a game. And we'll see if he's able to do that. He still has wings engraved, so we could just go for like a Link 2. Possibly go for the Dark Charmer. Of course, is Dark locked at this point because of Break Sword's effect. Yep, so we'll go for the Dark Charmer. And the Dark Charmer could actually, I believe, steal something out of the opponent's grave too, if I recall correctly. But simply not needing to do that here. Going for a Link 3 and then Link 4 into access code. Getting a step ahead. And that is going to be an OTK. Valiant effort for our danger player, but Phantom Knight sometimes just too strong, especially if you're trying to end up OTKing there. But very interesting matchup. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, check out one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members, and they are Tweeter0226, Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Keith Sidgers, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much as always for your extremely generous support of the channel.